Hi, this is Kathy Goodwin, and today we're going to talk about Be Your Own Guru, tip number 1, which is about speaking. So why do-it-yourself guru? This series is modeled after the Be Your Own Shrink books. I just saw one called Shrink Yourself. You'll find books in a library or bookstore. Be your own doctor, be your own therapist, be your own weight loss coach. Are they saying you should not have professionals? You should just read this book and everything will be fine? Of course not. They usually have big disclaimers. And in the same way, what I'm saying is use do-it-yourself techniques to gain momentum. Decide what kind of help you need if you want to move further. If you have a serious challenge, then you may need to get more kinds of support. But if you start on your own with do-it-yourself techniques, you'll gain momentum. You'll get started so you'll know how to choose the right resource when you're ready, and you'll have a lot of fun along the way. And most important, you might even start building your business as a do-it-yourselfer, so you'll be more easily able to choose programs that you can afford easily. So what do I mean by a guru? Well, gurus are high-powered mentors who market intensely for their own services, and they typically have stunning successes. They will usually document their success in their marketing materials and also when they talk to you. They tend to charge $10,000 to $20,000 as a minimum for a yearly program. At that level, you're talking guru land. They will accelerate your success if you're a good fit. They'll take you from good to great and great to greater. But they will kill your budget and maybe your business if you're not a good fit. That's a good reason to start with the do-it-yourself method. So what's involved in speaking? Well, almost every guru will recommend, and every marketing coach who's not a guru, almost everyone you talk to will say, hey, speaking is good. I've done well with speaking myself. So what that means is you start by speaking to a targeted audience. That means an audience that is composed of potential clients and prospects. Of course, when you start out, you'll probably be willing to speak to almost anybody who's willing to listen, because you'll get practice, you'll get known as a good speaker. Someone in that audience might be all wrong for your business, but they'll know somebody, they'll put you on to another venue, you'll get testimonials you can put on your website, and most of all, you'll get experience. You'll become a better speaker just by speaking. There's even a saying, the more you speak, the more you speak. Choose a hot topic and a title. That's absolutely critical. That's probably more important than anything, because in order to get booked, you need a title that will be so enticing that people will give up their alternative uses of time, their lunchtime, their evening time, their Saturdays to come and hear you speak. They really want that information so much. You need to motivate people to sign up for your services without appearing to sell. That is absolutely critical. Your ordinary audience will not tolerate the pitch that you'll get at an online marketing conference. That happens a lot. What you need to do is be able to communicate that you're strong at what you do, that you are very good, that you've had a lot of success with other people, and you need to be able to do that without selling. There are techniques that you can learn to do that along the way. You need to develop an engaging style. It doesn't have to be polished. When you're working with an audience, that some audiences, they actually will turn against you if you are a little too polished. They want to see that you're a little bit human, so you don't have to be perfect. And it's very hard to be perfect for 30, 60 minutes of a presentation. But you do need to hold attention. It's really important to get that engagement going, to get them to like you and to be following you, because they're going to be tempted to look at their cell phones every 5 minutes. So what do we mean by being your own guru, doing it yourself? Well, here's what you can do to get started before you hire anyone, or certainly before you hire a long-term high-powered mentor. Well, identify at least 3 possible speaking venues if you're going to do live speaking. If you're in a very small town, and I lived in a very small town in New Mexico for several years, you just may not have any place to speak that is at all realistic. When that happens, you have to decide, are you going to drive to a nearby location? Are you going to pick up and move altogether? Or are you going to not use speaking as a way to build your business? And that's a perfectly legitimate decision. In fact, all 3 of those are legitimate decisions, depending on your circumstances. You want to do a lot of speaking. Get up in front of lots of groups so you'll build experience, build your reputation, and get better. You want to listen to recordings of your own talks. So when you give a teleseminar nowadays, you almost always have a recording. Go back and listen. When I've done that, I have been astounded. I listened to some things I did a few years ago and I was horrified. So I've made a number of changes since then. Get someone to video your appearances. It doesn't have to be a professional. Now, if you are going to get serious about this, you'll probably want to get a professional videographer, and they can charge $1,500 and up for a single taping or video of an appearance. But to get started, just get someone in the audience to use a cell phone. You can use clips for your website, and most important, you can use that for feedback, so you get a sense of how you come across when you're speaking. You may be surprised at some of the things you do, the way you use your hands, the way you stand, the way you move around. Get honest feedback. That's really critical. You may have to get a friend that you trust. You may have to get audience members. You may have to have feedback sheets that you pass out to your audience. You may have to pay someone for a session or two of coaching to get a sense of how you come across and get honest feedback. What if you're shy? You don't like to speak? Well, you could join Toastmasters. Toastmasters is good for many people. I joined it for a year, and in case you can't tell, I'm not shy. I'm a bit of a ham. My group was unusual. We had a number of people who loved to speak. We had a radio announcer from a local station. We had a number of people who had done stand-up comedy, and even a few who were professional speakers. But we also had some people who were terrified. You could actually see them shaking in front of the group, and they did get better over time. The downside of Toastmasters is that you learn to give a very polished 2 to 3 minute talk with no ums, no uhs, no pauses, and that's great. Except when you're speaking to promote your business, you're going to be doing 20, 30, 40, even 60 to 90 minute segments, and Toastmasters will give you limited help except for getting over the fear. It's worth a try, especially if you're not used to speaking or you just want to practice. Given the right chapter, you can get a lot of benefit. These days, I'm recommending improv. I've been doing improv for about 2 years now in classes, and I have to say I love it, and it's taken my speaking to a different level, a different type of speaking, because you relate to your audience in a new way. You relate to people on the stage differently because every performance is like an ensemble performance. So I highly recommend improv as a way to learn how to engage your audience, think on your feet, and become better, not only as a speaker, but as a participant in meetings and any kind of social interaction. So, do those guru stilettos belong on your feet? Well, let's see what you're being blocked by. First, lack of confidence. If you're nervous about getting up in front of a group, or do you just not know any places to speak? Do you need to develop topics and content? Or are you lacking an engaging, confident speaking style when you speak? What about your own values? Would you rather be boiled in oil than give a talk? Is it something you just absolutely don't want to do? You need to answer these questions before you make a major investment in a marketing coach. And in some cases, you can actually get specialized training that will help you whether you decide to work with a guru or not. For example, a speech coach might be able to help you. A few improv classes might take you to another level in your speaking. And then you'll be ready. You'll have some momentum when you hire someone. So let's get started. Here are some ways that I can help you. I have a program called the Marketing Turnaround, where we get together, we talk about something that is holding you back from success or from reaching the goals you want in your business. These sessions are extremely powerful at overcoming obstacles very quickly, overcoming blocks very, very quickly, and getting you into a new direction in a surprisingly short amount of time. You can also read my ebook, Choose Your Marketing Mentor, which you can get here, budgieworld.com/mentor book. That is fun. I had a lot of fun writing that, and that's something that you can look up if you want to decide how to choose a mentor who will help you and not drain your bank account with no results. Finally, I have a freebie giveaway, free branding secrets at copybranding.com. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'd love to see you on a future video and possibly a one-to-one consultation. Thank you so much for joining me today, and have a great rest of the day.